Hey folks, welcome back to another video of the Flutter development course brought to you by Newton School. My name is Harsh and I am going to be your instructor for this Flutter development course. I am currently working as a Flutter developer at Alihoop, Sweden, and I have been an ex-Flutter developer at AppScript and at Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology as well. I am also an educator on Udemy and Eduonix, where my Flutter development courses have more than 40,000 plus enrollments already, so you can check them out as well. Now talking about what Newton School is. So basically Newton School is a platform that helps you to learn and develop the skills that you need for your best tech career. Newton School first trains you for 6 months and helps you become a full stack developer. The courses which they are having are specifically designed for freshers, working professionals and for women with no prior experience in tech. It is also having a network of more than 300 plus great companies who hire directly from Newton School. So they also ensure you that you are placed with one of the best companies in the country. They are also having a pay after placement program where you don't have to pay anything to Newton School until and unless you are placed with a minimum CTC of 5 lakh rupees per annum. And they are also having another awesome initiative known as Launchpad, where you will also be getting some of the courses for free of cost, and you can work on those courses, learn the courses, and you can also get a certificate of completion after completing those courses. So in this video we are going to complete the implementation for the database which we have left in the previous video. So in the previous video I have told you how you can make some of the initial functions and initial things which are required for the database to work. So we'll be completing that part in this video, and we'll be seeing how the CRUD operations are working as well. So let's get directly to the video. So in the previous video I explained you how you can create the database helper, and also we have created various different widgets which will be needed for us to create various different operations to interact with the database. So we have created 4 elevated buttons, and we have also worked on creating this database helper.dart file which generally which is all having the database name, the version of the database, the name of the table which we are going to create. It is also having 2 columns, the columns which we will be using in our database for storing the data, and it is having a private constructor over here, and we have initialized an instance which will be used for triggering all the functions which are available inside this file and to interact with the database as well. And in the previous video I have already explained you how you can get the database and what is the necessity of all of these things which I have written over here. So make sure to check that out to get a gist of what all these things are. To sum up, these are for getting the database if it is already existing, else creating a new database with the help of running the SQL commands which are present over here. Now let's start working on this video. So at first we need to perform the insert operation, or we need to make the insert command run. So for that we'll be using, or we'll be having we'll be creating a new function with the name of insert, which will be of a type future and will have a return type of int. As every time we create, or every time we are having or performing an operation on the database, most probably it will be providing us with an integer output until and unless it is a query operation. So query operation provides us with the list or map data, else we are provided with the integer operations of the rows which are impacted or the data which has been updated and stuff like that. And I'll be naming my function as insert, which will be taking the map of type string and dynamic. The name of it would be row. It will be of type async, and the database would be named as a DB, and we'll be getting the database from the instance which we have created above. So instance.database. It is providing us with an error over here, a value of database, changing the database to database nullable option. And once we have got the database, we can now perform the insert operation on it. So we'll be returning await db dot insert, and herein we have to pass the table name, so underscore table name variable which we have already created, and the values which we want to add. So we are getting the data in the form of a map, so I'll be passing that over here, and this will be added to the database automatically. And here we are getting an error inside an integer, so we need to check if the database is not equals to null, then only we have to perform the insert operation inside our database. So this was for the insert part. Herein we have used integer for getting the output in the form of an integer which will be returned to us once the complete operation has been performed on the database. And the future is there because this will be taking some time, so that's why we have assigned a future over here as the type. Next, let's create the query all function. So it will also be of a type future, but as I already explained you that the query all function returns a map in and a list as well sometimes according to the database. So that's why I'm adding a list and thereafter a map, and this map will be having the key as string and the value as dynamic, and closing all of these. The name of the function would be query all, and it will be of a type async it needs to be. And after that doing the similar thing like getting the database at first. So database nullable db and it will be having an await, so instance dot database, and after that returning the database dot query. So return await db dot, performing a query operation on it and passing the table name so that the data could be fetched from the table. And later, and one more thing, we need to add a null checker, so which checks if the database is not equals to null, then only we have to perform the operation on the database. Earlier when the package was released in its initial phases, or when Flutter 2.0 was not released, in that particular condition the null checker or the nullability thing was not there, so we generally didn't use all of these question marks and exclamations over here. But for now it is mandatory to use if you want to make your what we can say project to be null secure. And now next thing which we need to do over here is create the update function. So future, and it will also be returning an integer. It will be of a name update, and similarly it will be taking a string and a dynamic. Name of it will be row again, and it will be of a type async. Similarly creating a database and db await instance dot database, and after that we'll be first getting the particular row which needs to be like what we can say, the row which needs to be updated. So for that what we have to do over here is creating a variable of type integer of name id, and we'll be getting the particular column id for that. So row column id, and we have already created this column id, so control F, and herein you can see that we have created the column id. So we will be getting the id of that particular column id, so all the id will be appearing over here. We can also print this id, so id is and $id dot inside this id dot to string. And later on what we can do is we can perform the update operation on the database. So return await db dot update, and herein we have to pass the table name at first, so underscore table name, and we have to pass the value which we want to update, or let me just check, we have to first pass the table as well, and it takes a table name. We have passed that. It takes values as well, so for that we have to pass row, and we can pass a where, so we can check where the dollar column id is equals to question mark, and where the args, like where the arguments are equal to this id which we have created above. And this needs to be having a null checker as well. So we'll be first passing the table name, then the row like the data which we are getting from the database, and later on we'll be checking where the column id is equals to question mark and the arguments are equal to the id which we are getting from this. So where all of these conditions would be satisfied, then only we'll be updating that particular field with the data which we want. So these are the things which I have added. for the particular update. And one more thing, like it will be returning the number of rows which are updated once we have like successfully completed this update query on the database. Yeah, so now let's create the delete as well. So future integer and delete, it will be having an integer id. It takes an integer id, so basically the id of the data where we want the particular field to be deleted. It is an async as well, and herein we need to get the database at first. So database nullable checker db, and it will be having the value of await instance dot database, and after that we need to return await db dot delete, and this delete takes a table name, the where clause. So where we are having the dollar column id is equals to question mark, and one more thing, the where args are equals to the id which is being passed over here. So I'll be explaining you each of these, like what are the things being performed over here once we have completed or once the app is in the running phase. So you don't need to worry about that. I'll be explaining you each of those things as well. Now we need to create various different files for each of these operations which I have added, so that we can create a functions in them in those file, and then we can run those functions directly on the click of these buttons. So I'll be creating a first file for delete. So deleting dot, and this function will be having the deleting function. So this file will be having the deleting function. So at first I need to import the database helper dot, and deleting function of type async, and herein we'll be getting the rows affected inside this integer. So rows affected, and we'll be running the database helper dot instance dot delete. So we'll be running this delete through this instance of the database helper, and I'm passing the id of 1 over here. So wherever in our database we will be having the id as 1, it will be deleting that particular. And now we can print out the number of rows affected. So print adding this, so rows affected dollar rows affected variable. Going back to main.dart file, importing this deleting, quick fix deleting, there it goes. Now I need to create a new file for the querying inserting as well. So querying.dart, a new file for inserting.dart, and a new file for updating.dart. So let me create the things for the inserting first. So importing the database helper and inserting, it will be of type async, and here it is showing me a error for database helper because this has been deleted automatically. And int I will be equal to await database helper dot instance dot insert, and it takes a row. So for the row, what I'll be passing over here is a database helper dot column name. So database helper dot column name would be equal to Harsh over here. So this means that whenever we are clicking on this insert button, inserting will be running and it will be creating a new field. The ID will be auto assigned as it is a primary key, and the insert command would be the insert function will be running, and it will be adding the column name to be Harsh for each of the new ID which is created. And we can print out a similar thing as we did previously. So printing the inserted ID is $i. Now going towards the querying file, the querying.dart, and importing database helper over here, querying, type async, and as we know that it returns a list of map data, so map, and inside the map also it is having string and dynamic, and the name of it would be query row, so query rows, and it will be having await. It is providing me with an error, I guess this needs to be deleted, and it will be having an await, so database helper dot instance dot query all, and it does not takes anything. Next, adding a print statement, so queried rows will be displayed here, so query rows are, and dollar, the query row variable. Querying is completed, inserting is completed, deleting is completed, updating is remaining, so let's do that as well. Import database helper.dart, updating async, and integer updated id would be equal to await database helper dot instance dot update, and herein we have to pass the row. So what I can do is I can pass a database helper dot column id as 3, so database helper dot column id equals to 3. So wherever the column id will be equal to 3, then it will be updating that particular field, and I can pass the column name as well, like the data which I want to be updated. So for example, initially if the column name is equals to Harsh, then it will be replacing the particular data in the column id as 3 with the data which I am passing over here. So it will be changing it to Tanmay, and I can print out the updated id. So the updated id is $updated id. Now the only thing is remaining over here is importing each of these. And now the app seems to be complete. Let me just run the app, and I'll be pausing the video once the app has started, once the launching has started, and I'll be continuing once the build has been completed. So let's quickly resume once the build has completed and the app will be in the launching phase. So herein you can see over here that the build has completed and the files are being synchronized. The app is launching as well, and you can see over here the UI of the app is pretty simple. Let me add the cross-axis alignment as well and see if it is coming in the center. It is not coming in the center because we are not having the width assigned as full. So adding a container with the width of media query dot of context dot size dot width, and the w needs to be small. Saving it again, and now you can see the UI looks much better than the previous version. And now when I'll be clicking on the each of these buttons which are available over here, let me just change the color of each of them to white, because white is looking pretty much good and it is readable as well for you who are watching this video. The yellow seems well as well, so let the yellow be same. And now you can see over here that when I'll be clicking on any of these buttons, something would be displayed in the debug console. So have a look at that as well. At first, when I'll be clicking on the insert button, you can see over here that it shows that the inserted ID is 1. Now when I'll be clicking on the query button, you can see over here that it has queried the data and has showing the list of the data in the form of a JSON output. The ID is equals to 1 and the name is equals to Harsh. Now when I'll be clicking on the insert button again, you can see over here that the inserted ID is 2, and clicking on the query button, you can see over here that it has queried those databases, the data which is available inside our database. Now when I'll be clicking on the update button, it is showing over here that the update ID is 0. The reason for this being that we are not having any particular data available in our database with the underscore ID equals to 3, because inside the updating.dat file we have passed the column ID to be 3. So until and unless the underscore ID is 3, the update thing won't be updating any particular data which is available inside the database. Now once we try to delete the things or delete the data, so I click on the delete, so you can see that it has shown rows affected 1. Let's query and see what it has deleted. So it has deleted the ID with the it has deleted underscore ID value of 1, so it has deleted that particular data. Now when I'll be clicking on the delete button again, you can see over here that rows affected are 0, because inside the delete.dart file, let me show you deleting.dart file, we have passed the delete ID to be equals to 1. So that's why it won't be deleting any particular ID over here, because underscore ID which was equals to 1 has already been deleted. Now let me insert few more values as well. So I'll be typing insert 4 or 5 times, and now when I'll be querying, you can see that we have already deleted the underscore ID value of 1. So we are provided with the values with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And now when I'll be clicking on the update button, you can see over here that the updated ID is 1, which means that one ID has been updated, and the ID for which we have sent to be update is 3. So when I'll be clicking on the query button, you can see over here that the value or the data for the name which was having underscore ID as 3 has been changed, and the name has been updated to Tanmay as we have said inside the updating.dart file. So this was pretty much it, the explanation of the database. You can use this database to first query the data out. Later on, like finding out the result. For example, you have got a database of a particular app where the app has the data related to people working in an organization, and someone is leaving the organization. So you want to change the status of that person to closing or to delete something like that. So you can first fetch the database. Later on, you can perform the condition checks. If the name is equals to this person, the employee ID is equals to this. If these are the condition, then update the database or and update the particular field of all of these condition matching, and it should be changing the field to closing or the employee is leaving, something like that. So you can use this particular database and perform those operations as well inside your Flutter application. Now, as I said that I'll be telling you about how the things are working in the database helper.dart file. So I have already explained you some part, but let me quickly sum the things up. This insert will be like first getting the database instance, and then we'll be running the insert over here, taking the table name and the data. So this will be taking the data whatever we want to insert inside the table. So that's why we are passing the table name. Querying will be getting all the database or all the data which is present in the particular table. So that's why it is taking a table name. The update will be first getting the database, like the instance of the database. Later on, we have passed the row over here. So inside the updating.dart file, you can see over here that we have passed the row. The row takes two different values. The first one being the ID for which we want the data to be updated, and second thing the value it takes is of the name or of the field whatever we want to replace the data with. So herein you can see that we are having that particular thing received over here as row, and from here on we are fetching the ID over here. So row, from that we'll be fetching the ID. So we are already getting the column ID, so that from that we'll be getting this ID variable, and we'll be performing the update operation, and we are passing the table name, the row which we have got over here, where the column ID is equal to the condition check which we are passing over here, and the argument should be equal to the ID field, like the data which we have passed over here. So that's what the update will be doing, and the delete will be simply deleting the particular ID which we have passed, the value of which is matching to the underscore ID for our case, and that from the table which we have passed over here. And similarly, it is having the two condition checks. The column ID should be equal to the value which we are getting, and the arguments should also be equal to the ID which we have passed. So for deleting the rows in the database, we are using this particular thing. So this is what I have covered in this particular video. If you haven't checked out how you, if you are having still any doubts of how I created all of these things and how I created the table and what are the things which I did in the setting up of the database and for creating the UI, then make sure to check out the previous video. I have explained about that over there. And this was pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching it. I hope you enjoyed learning something new. If you did, then make sure to drop a thumbs up. Comment down below what are your thoughts on this and will you be implementing it inside your app or not. Subscribe to the channel to get all the latest updates related to the Flutter development course. And apart from that, share this video with the people in your community who are willing to learn Flutter. I'll be more than grateful if you are doing these things as well. And that was pretty much it for this video. I'll be seeing you in the next one.